Good morning to everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I am Mayor Lehner, Peggy Lehner. I think I've know or met most of you by now. I'd like to introduce a couple of my fellow council members who are here today. Jill Hall is up here, Tony Klepaz, Bob Scott is back there. Anybody I miss? Okay. And I would like to also introduce our city manager, Matt Greason, who has now been here 4 months, 5 months? Yeah, doing a great job. It is Community Development Week, and we thank you all so much for coming here today to celebrate your accomplishments and the success Kettering has had in preserving neighborhoods, helping low and moderate income households, and small business owners. Federal funding is a key component of our local government, and we encourage legislators to maintain the current funding levels for communities that strive to remain healthy and strong. Several of us are going to Washington, D.C. next week for the community fly-in, and we will be carrying that message with us when we go. Our community development manager, Angela Rockman, and her team never stop anticipating the needs of our residents and business owners and work with their strong collaborative network to quickly assist where needed. Our Economic Development Director, Amy Schrimpf, and I don't believe Amy's here today. Is she? No, okay, on spring break. But she has joined forces with Community Development to ensure our business owners are heard and happy. During the height of the pandemic, I can't wait till we don't even mention that anymore. I don't know about the rest of you. Community Development rallied the teams to visit businesses like yours to see how we could help owners. Small business loans were being offered, along with grants for nonprofits and rental assistance, to name a few. Angela is the subject matter expert when it comes to community development, and she is going to share with us the dynamic programs available to our residents and business owners. So, Angela?
Today, we're here to celebrate how special funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and through the State of Ohio Community Development Funds make a significant difference here in Kettering, and share how much we value those programs. Through housing initiatives, public services, and a clear focus on small businesses, which we will hear from today, we use these funds to keep our community strong. In Kettering, we recognize that economic development and community development are intertwined. Community development is economic development. I just want to quickly highlight 4 programs that we are most proud of. The Housing Rehabilitation Program has been a key component in our neighborhood revitalization efforts since the beginning of our funding. It helps small construction companies build capacity and a solid track record for growth. Since 2020, we have completed 52 housing projects with federal and state funds. Our senior resource programming uses CDBG to provide informational and referral services to our residents. The program provides an advocate to our seniors so they can remain safe and secure in their homes. This program serves over 1,000 people annually. Site acquisition, demolition, and disposition have been components of a strategic neighborhood revitalization program here in Kettering for years. In the Wiles Creek neighborhood, CDBG funds complemented other funds so that homes that had outlived their useful life could be demolished, narrow lots were combined, and now state community development funds are being used to construct 2 new construction habitat homes in the neighborhood. In the last several years, we have recommitted to the work of engaging our small businesses. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were able to use community development block grant funds to assist 23 businesses. Most recently, we used CDBG funds to offer 2 technical assistance programs and small grants to historically disadvantaged microenterprises, with over 35 businesses participating. We value the fact that the Community Development Block Grant Program has allowed local governments to define programs that meet their unique needs. CDBG has been very useful and flexible. In Kettering, we strive to be resourceful and secure other grants, including CHIP funding from the state of Ohio, which is also pass-through funding from home. The purpose of community development is to provide, primarily for people of low and moderate income, decent housing, stable neighborhoods and environments, and economic opportunities.
I didn't have an access to the outside of my house in my bedroom, so we put in a door that goes right out into the yard where if anything happens, if the house blows up or if it catches on fire, I can put the dog out and then I can put myself out without getting hurt.
The CDBG program is, I've gotten great feedback from customers. They really appreciate the program, and myself as a contractor, it's been a good program. I really believe strongly in the program. It improves the Kettering community. It induces people wanting to move into the community. Younger couples, the older couples really appreciate it too. I'd say they're the best people to work for. It's a good program.
Oh, it was like winning the lottery. It was really nice, all they did to help me. You know, the City of Kettering helps so much in assisting with this program they have. I was just very lucky. I would definitely encourage other people to participate in this program to beautify their home, especially if they're like me on low income and can't afford it. It really helps the neighborhood and the City of Kettering also. This helped tremendously.
We've used it here in the City of Kettering pretty effectively in our housing programs, and we're able to use those funds to assist people in that income classification that need help on their home, don't have a lot of income, and the house is starting to show deferred maintenance issues and needs some help. And we've done everything from small electrical repairs up to almost whole house renovations where we're redoing kitchens, bathrooms, siding, roofing, windows, all kinds of things.
We were going to sell it. We were just at odds what to do. There was so much work that needed to be done. I wasn't sure if I could afford to do all of it, so we just thought that maybe we would go ahead and just sell the house. But having it be in our family for 70 years, we really didn't want to let it go. We had new windows, new doors, the air system. I had a new electric panel put in, a lot of new wiring put in. There was some plumbing that was done. And then, kind of for me, the cherry on top was I had the house painted.
The City of Kettering offers a variety of programs. Many are housing related. We offer first-time home buyer and foreclosure counseling, and we can offer those within the city in a private setting or outside the city in a setting that is in downtown Dayton. We also offer first-time home buyer loans and grants, and we offer down payment assistance, and we offer housing rehabilitation loans and grants for low and moderate income people. All right, at this point, I am really pleased to introduce Anthony Forte. He can speak more about HUD and the wonderful things that they're doing there for us and with us. Anthony is the Columbus Field Office Director at HUD's Office of Field Policy and Management in Columbus. And thank you for attending our event, Anthony, and sorry there was a snafu in where we were located.
Well, good morning to everyone. I'm sure you've been greeted appropriately and protocol has been set. Literally just got off the road, so I'm catching my breath, but it is a pleasure to be here with you. Greetings, Mayor Lehner, to our council members that is here, Ms. Hall, Mr. Scott, Mr. Klepaz. There you go. Okay, and to our city manager. Greetings from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. As introduced, my name is Anthony Forte, and I serve as the Field Office Director for our Central and Southern Ohio 53 of the 88 counties of Ohio. So my office serves everything from Richland all the way down to our state line from the south as well as the east and the west. I currently serve, and many of you may have interacted with my predecessor, Tom Leach, who was in this position for 22 years. And so he's gone on to greener pastures. I visited him last week, and I see there's a little part of this that comes with it. He effectively retired, you know, that being he was able to control his own destiny. Some of us can't. He's not being viewed, he's being visited and seen. And he took on a new job after all this time. And so when I met with him, I was like, well, what's your new digs? What's your He is a grandfather. And so he literally said his new job is to solely be a G-pop for his daughter. So he's going to be a granddad at the moment. But I say that because many people knew Mr. Leach. And in my first year of office, I've already passed a year anniversary. I do give kudos to him because he represented our agency and did so very well through a 22-year time period. So on behalf of our current secretary, Ms. Marsha Fudge, appointed by this Biden-Harris administration, she is both a Ohioan, but she's also a Buckeye from that perspective. And so she has served our state well from that perspective. Many of you may know the history of HUD. It started in 1939 with the Housing Development Act, and at that time it was just housing. And unfortunately, most people still confuse HUD with just housing and public housing. But 55 years ago, it started the Agency of Housing and Urban Development and took what was just general fund dollars and created block grant programs and now devolve it down to the local level. And so you are one of what we call our entitlement communities. You have been for a number of years and get an annual allocation of the funds that our Congress delegation is able to not only approve, but to bring back to the local level. The beauty of the Community Development Block Grant Program, as your video was able to point out, is the diversity of uses. Historically, the funds that came from Congress was, 1, 2, 3, but it was very specific for that use. The block grant program allowed it to be used for a diversity of program activities. I believe there's going to be some type of a check presentation today, which is a combination of multiple years and different sources of the funds that you have. So we're not going to give it all to you at one time. But fortunately, you have been timely in your expenditures, and so you're able to continue to use the dollars in order to both improve your communities. And again, most of you that know the program knows that it targets individuals that are 80% and below of area median income. It does not make up, particularly for those areas that are what we call area median income and low moderate income. It doesn't make up for all of the lost tax revenue from the higher income areas, but it augments your local tax revenues generated from those areas in order to add to what can be done to bring those areas not only up to code, tax, and fair market standards, but also to add benefit to the individuals that live within those areas. The quality of our citizens should not be determined by their zip code. It should be determined by the resources that are made available to them. Some areas are high resource areas, some areas are low resource areas. Your community development block grant funds equalizes, gives everyone the same opportunity to prosper, to grow, to have safe, decent, and affordable housing. I applaud you and I congratulate you on the continued use of your dollars. In the past, I used to be a community development director, have kind of worked up through the process, you know, both on the urban county level, the council of government level, and now on the federal level. And so for Miss Angela, who I've known for, wow, 20 plus years now, 20 plus years, I've done the work. So I know it makes a difference. I know it's sustainable. And most of all, I know it makes an impact in the lives of our residents within our communities. On behalf of the Secretary of HUD, Ms. Fudge, thank you for doing what you do. This is Community Development Week. There are such celebrations going on across the country that highlights the success and the benefits of the uses of these funds. There's a political message, as there are, always are. It is because it deals with the priority of the uses of dollars. There's always never enough. More need than there are funds. Therefore, it becomes competing priorities. But when you make your decisions on the use of your dollars, then know that the priority is the people that gets the benefit, whether that's infrastructure, whether that's housing, whether that is public services, whether that is helping seniors remain with integrity, ethics, and humanity in their own homes so they can age well, whether that is serving individuals with different levels of disabilities so that they have dignity from a accessibility perspective, various things like that. I'm not going to ramble on, but I'm identifying these are the highlights of the programs, all the way down to when you help individual businesses. With these funds, we have what's known as Section 3, which is a part of the program that is designed to allow low to moderate income beneficiaries to have some economic vitality by them participating in the very programs that are designed to help them, which becomes some of our construction programs, development programs, things of that nature. But in this same instance, helping small businesses, whether those are micro enterprise businesses, whether those are small businesses, whether those medium-sized businesses, with resources so that they can sustain their business, so that they can generate cash flow, and that they can then retain wealth in their businesses, that goes right back into your community from every perspective. And so, again, I applaud you. I was the manager of the division that oversaw the funds that come to this community and across the state for the last 15 years. And now I'm in a different role, so I come with salutations and greetings, problem solving, troubleshooting, and most of all, customer service. If you ever have a question for HUD, my office serves as the front door for HUD. Again, not only in the state, but particularly our 53 counties, www.hud.gov. Thank you for your time and your opportunity to speak to you this morning. Congratulations, and use your funds to do more. Be well.
Thank you, Anthony, very, very much for taking your time out of your day, coming down here from Columbus down to Western Ohio. We appreciate your office. We appreciate the partnership that we have with HUD and all that HUD does for us. Because of our partnership with HUD and with the state, we are able to develop a strong program to support our small businesses. I would like to introduce and welcome 4 such of our small businesses that have received community development block grant funds since 2020. Kiara Burns, owner of Jalora's Beauty, Kathy Dudley, owner of Babyland, Anthony Head, owner of Chicken Head, and LaSue Janelle, owner of Dayton Fitness Lab. I'm going to ask each of our panelists up here 3 questions. We'll start off with Kiara. If you could please give us a brief introduction, telling us about your business path and how CDBG funds were able to fill your needs.
Of course. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kiara Jalora Burns, and my business is Jalora's Beauty. I am located on Far Hills, right in Salon Ventures behind Chipotle. My business is a beauty industry, it's a beauty business where I specialize in extensions, but I also have been able to use the funds from the HUD programming to jumpstart the latest part of my business, which is cranial prosthesis. So I understand now that there's such a need in the community for people to just kind of get back to themselves, feel normal. There's so many medical related issues, cancer, and just different type of medical related issues that cause women, men, and children to lose their hair. So because of the funds from the program, I was actually able to kind of jumpstart that and just be able to move in a path that's gonna allow me to grow, which is amazing.
Wow, that's fantastic. So Kiara, what attracted you to Kettering?
I actually started in Kettering with a girlfriend of mine who's also a fellow business owner here in the Kettering area, and I just started back not even necessarily brand new, but I was at a burnout phase, and she introduced me to the Kettering area, and I fell in love with the community. It was different. It was definitely totally up my alley. And when I left that place, she actually left me in position because of the things that you guys were able to do for her. She was able to point me in the right direction and leave me in the position to where I was able to obtain my own business, and I would never leave the Kettering area. Yeah.
So Kiara, what are your greatest challenges of that your business faces, and how do you envision that the city of Kettering might be able to help you out?
Greatest challenges. Business is just hard anyway. Business is hard. There's always something new. There's always going to be something challenging, but the support that the city provides, there's so many resources that I never knew about, I never expected to come across. I always thought it was just me in business and that was it. But being here in Kettering, I totally realized that it's so much more than just me being in business. Angela has been phenomenal. She has helped me out so much. She's such a cool person. But yeah, just I can't imagine. I don't even know what else to expect. You guys have exceeded all of my expectations. Honestly, I would have never imagined it to be the way that it is. So I'm sure she'll figure something else out.
Thank you so much, Kiara.
Yeah, absolutely.
LaSue, can you give us a brief introduction and tell us about your Kettering business path and how our Community Development Block Grant funds were able to fill your needs?
All right, well, good morning. My name is LaSue Janelle, and you guys say Dayton Fit Lab because it's short, well, that's the full name for DFL Nutrition. So initially I started in 2015, so I was an intervention specialist for Dayton Public Schools. I taught for 10 years. I did Braille, I did hearing impaired, and I just was like, hey, I'm tired of this. I'm just getting burnt out. Let me find something else I want to do. Well, I was pre-diabetic, and I was like, I'm going to change the way I eat. I need to do something, and I tried everything under the sun. So I utilized my school gym, and I started making shakes in the school gym. And it was like, it started, we had about 10 people. Then like it just grew from Tuesdays and Thursdays to 20 to 30 people to my principal was like, LaSue, we need the gym for other activities. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go find me a building. I had no idea what I was doing. So I kind of just went out there. I literally jumped off the cliff and I was like, okay. And I opened up a shop in Trotwood, Ohio, and I stayed there for 3 years. And in 2019, I moved into Kettering. And I moved to Kettering because I was like, this is where I live, and this is where my business is going to be. And I didn't have to explain health and fitness to anyone. You already knew this is where it was all. I just told someone this was our black hole. We shopped here, we eat here, now we work here. And so we transitioned out here, and it's been amazing. And what the best part of Kettering and how the funds has helped me, it has built exposure. It's built a network. Some of the resources I wasn't privy to, I am now privy to. I'm able to make connections. If I don't have the answer, someone else has the answer. I'm able to call on a network of people to help me to grow and to immerse myself in the city, because I'm going to be the healthy Starbucks of the city of Kettering.
LaSue, where is your business located at?
So we are on 2025 East Dorothy Lane. So let me give you all the landmarks. City Barbecue. Oh. Taco Bell. We right there in the middle. You start with me. Now how you end at the end of the day. So yeah.
Fantastic. So LaSue, what are the greatest challenges for your business that your business faces, and how do you envision the city of Kettering can help you out?
So once again, I'm going to be the healthy Starbucks of the city of Kettering. One of my challenges was just the exposure. It was I didn't know initially where to start. Like I told you guys, I jumped off the ledge. There was no how-to guide. So as I navigated each process, each step, it literally was a growing process each time. So as I grew, now this is April 16th, will be 8 years being open, and that's really huge because but I didn't know what to do. So my biggest thing was the exposure. But once I realized what I needed to do, there wasn't really any obstacles because knowing is half the battle. So
great. Thank you so much, LaSue. Now, Kathy, same question for you. Can you give us a brief introduction of your business, telling us about your business path and how the Community Development Block Grant funds were able to help fill some of your needs?
Yeah, we're Babyland, and we take care of infants 6 weeks to 18 months of age, and we kind of have our special little niche there. So we're able to help the families kind of bond and grow together, and send them to different resources and help them understand what infant development is all about. Most of our families are the first-time families, first-time parents. They don't know how to do this, and we aren't in the early 1900s where we have grandma and great-grandma, just down the lane. So you need some extra support and some extra love, and sometimes that's all it is just a hug. These moms, dads, they come in, they're sleep deprived, they're emotionally deprived. Mom is in California, they're nutritionally deprived. And so, we might be able to offer them, a bottle of water and a banana or whatever, and give them a hug, and it just makes a difference in their day. So we're very small. We are licensed for 19 infants. We have been holding it at about 14 infants. Just since COVID, everything's kind of changed. We were given this grant right at the height of the pandemic. I know we said those are ugly words, but at the height of the pandemic, when everything was shutting down, the governor had shut us down, along with every other business, and it wasn't like just us. And we were saying, well, how do we support ourselves? Because my husband and I both, that's our employment. And so that helped us to ensure some money that made all the difference in the world to just say, okay, well, we can hang on here for just a little bit. And so we were able to hang on, and 10 weeks later, every childcare started opening back, and we were able to continue on.
Thanks, Kathy. I do remember those days when we first had our first child, and oh, it's rough. It's rough for a first-time parent. So, Kathy, I know you've been in Kettering for a lot of years.
Yeah.
But what attracted you to Kettering in the first place?
Schools. Schools. When we moved here, we were the parents of a 2-year-old, and of course, we're her parents, so we knew that she was the brightest child that was ever created, and we wanted her to have the best education she could, and we knew Kettering was it, and so we moved here. We celebrated 40 years on April 7th, and so we. When it came time to look for employment, I was checking out childcares in the area, and Babyland was initially started by someone else, and then we took it over, and that was almost 36 years ago. Wow. So yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
So Kettering's been awesome to us. We encourage people all the time. They say they're looking for homes. I'm like, oh, stay right here.
So, Kathy, what are your biggest challenges your business faces now, and how do you envision that the city can help you out?
Probably one of our biggest challenges is staffing issues. Everybody nods. Their childcare industry as a whole doesn't pay what we're worth. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. So I don't know. I don't have answers. I only have questions. Is how to subsidize staff and encourage them to stay with the programs.
Great. Thank you, Kathy. I know a lot of people feel the same way of how we're going to get through the next crisis.
Yes.
Next, we have Anthony Head, owner of Chicken Heads. Anthony, can you give us a brief introduction of your business and your business path and how CDBG funds were able to help you out?
Sure. My name is Anthony T. Head Sr. I'm the chef executive owner of Chicken Heads. We're located at 1122 East Dorothy Lane here in Kettering. It's known colloquially as kind of they call it the restaurant graveyard, which I hate the connotation, but it's a small restaurant that's off Dorothy Lane. So if you know exactly where it is, you know where to come. It's a very small house that's been converted, probably been a restaurant for, I'm sure, almost 40 years. But we've done something different. I originally founded Chicken Heads in Dayton in 2019. We had a great run for the first couple of years, right up until the pandemic, even and during the first couple of months of that. Unfortunately, we had a business interruption, which we've since settled out of court. But that put us out of business about 15 months. And as I looked around the community for a place that made sense for us, it was all about location, location, location. There's a lot of chicken money in Kettering, right? Between Cane's and Chick-fil-A, this old professional chef, son of the city of Dayton, figured I can throw my hat in that ring. So that's what we did. We opened up here a unique concept called a ghost kitchen. So you only have access to our kitchen by ordering online and coming directly to pick up your food and go enjoy one of the beautiful parks or in your car or back to work. Or you can use delivery service. What that does for us is lower our overall overhead and allow us to operate with high quality food. Hopefully you enjoy some breakfast. Something a little typical than a typical fast food restaurant. So I tell everyone, take your kids to those other restaurants, but the adults come to us. And I often encourage parents to grab food at my restaurant and sit in the driveway needed before you go inside. Because what people don't know is because we have this closed restaurant, if you come to Chicken Heads, you'll see this reflective tint on the windows so you can't see inside. That's both economic reasons, in terms of managing our temperature within the restaurant, but I have my 2 young sons who are there when they're out of school, 5 and 7. So if you hear any, I say weeping and gnashing of teeth, it's probably my kids either fighting or playing or asking me for something to eat. But it allows us, my young kids, to kind of grow up alongside dad. I've been a 20-year business analyst. It's kind of my secret identity, but I've also at the same time been a 15-year professional chef and educator. I threw my hat all in with my personal investment into that space to renovate it. Got open in May of 2022, and my introduction to the city, having done this before, say, hey, city, new here, business, help. And Angela and her team and Amy were so very great, very gracious. Probably the best step into this community was a series of classes that really made us aware of all the resources. I said, wow, I wish I'd known this the first time in other cities I've worked in. But they've been incredibly great. That and then the partnership with the Chamber of Commerce have been excellent. But as it is with any small business, we're all undercapitalized, right? If you gave us $1 million, we spend it. It wouldn't be a lottery win. You'd be like, okay, capital equipment, marketing, signs. And that's what these community block dollars did for Chicken Heads. It allowed us to take advantage of a unique opportunity. We're not going to have drive-through traffic. We're not going to wrap our lines, people coming to Chicken Heads because we don't have the infrastructure. Again, that's a much higher tier of investment. But what it did allow us to do is get our bottling license. So we're actually official juice bottling licensing here in the state of Ohio by FDA and the Ohio Department of Agriculture. So now we're actually bottling some of my delicious lemonade. And some of you tasted the cold brew coffee, which is a new product from another company we started. So even though it's a small little red house selling chicken taters, we got some fresh juice and coffee coming out of that. And like with any small business, we want to be a big business one day, right? I'm looking at the Kathy Truitt's and the Ray Krocs and others and saying, we can do that. And Kettering has made it an environment where we can do that right here. I look at Esther Price, I look at Mike Sales, and I say, Chicken Heads can have a similar story. So we're just getting started, but it's going to be different, right? I want to sell a lot of chicken, want to sell a lot of potatoes, but at the end of the day, when we start seeing our lemonades and our coffees on the grocery store shelves, that's what I like. The natural partnerships, it's a very small business, friendly community, and that's why I'm happy to start my business back here.
Yeah, fantastic. I know you addressed this a little bit, but if you have anything else to add, what are your greatest challenges to your business now, and how do you think the city can help you out?
The greatest challenge is inflationary cost pressures, right? Things cost more. We have to charge more. I can echo the sentiments around staffing. It is what it is. The city, I think what I love about your organization is that people are problem solvers. When Angela's phone number comes across my phone, I answer. Yes, ma'am, how can I help? And it's always an invitation to another opportunity that can support my business, whereas roundtables like this speak and mingle with other business owners. I love that the help can be found not only just within this room, but within the business community as well. How can the city do? I mean, guys, you know, I think we talk about schools all the time, but as a business person, I say it's a business-friendly community. There are other cities right around you. It's always no first, but here is how can we help first? And I just love that. It encourages me on the busy days or slow days. And I know that if I get into a pickle, I can call someone and say, hey, chef, have you met so-and-so? Have you talked to so-and-so? So the power of your organization has to do with policies and not even dollars. It's the power of people like Angela in her office, just connecting us with people to help solve our problems.
Great. I truly do appreciate that. It is what we try to strive for. And I'm glad to hear that we're being successful, at least in 4 times.
Angela's up for a raise after this.
All right, I'm going to open it up for any questions from the audience that you may have for panelists.
Hopefully this will inspire some of the next generation of Kettering to start a business. If you were giving advice to them, what advice would you give to them as they pursue their dreams?
I would say call the city of Kettering.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
Call the city. Ask Angela and say, look, this is what I want to do, and see where they advise you from there.
Yeah. You guys have built the infrastructure. I mean, come on.
Literally.
We're all going to say the same thing. Sign up for the series of classes. Introduce you to all the city resources. And again, it's even a safer environment to ask questions. And you have other entrepreneurs who may have been in business. This good diversity of experience and years just on this panel. It's the same thing in the classes. People who've been doing it for 20 years are learning something new, and it provides instant value. And it's not intimidating.
You mentioned sign up for a series of classes. I'm not aware of classes. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Oh, forgive me. What's the series? Yeah, micro enterprise.
The city hosts a micro enterprise business class technical series. And so we started it last spring and we've held 2 so far. We're going to hold one again at the first Wednesday of every month, the first 4 Wednesdays in May. We will be hosting the series of classes. It's a technical assistance and networking class. All businesses are welcome, but we do focus on women-owned businesses, historically disadvantaged minority-owned businesses, businesses that are owned by disabled individuals and veterans. But the classes are open to anyone, and so then we will be launching a new forgivable loan program at the end of those classes, and that will be due in the end of June.
Mr. Scott.
I've got a question for multiple people on the panel here. First of all, Kathy, how many second generation babies do you have in your business?
We have had several. One of them was actually a baby that was there when we bought the center, and then her son is now 5. But yeah, it's always an honor to see these babies come in as parents. Yeah. And it's like, and the new mom is now grandma, and so yeah, that's fun. We've had several.
That's a great story. And for Chicken Heads and Le Sous, do you cater out of your businesses?
We do. We had breakfast this morning, and we're always looking for those opportunities as we grow capacity. But yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And have you already made plans to either one of your businesses to expand to other locations?
Yes, we have. That's what, again, this community block grant helps exactly that. The bottling is trying to grow that. We're actually just started with a new business, Slide Through in Inglewood. They're coming and they've been selling out of our lemonade every week. So I think we're kind of managed to get as much as we can out of our current footprint. But for us, it's like I literally do everything by hand. The next leap would be using a co-packer at the 10 to 20,000 mark. We had Costco call us, invite us to be on their shelves. We're not quite there from the revenue perspective yet, but it's there. So now I'm working towards that. But yeah, you guys have been business friendly. I'd love to grow my company here.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank all of you for being a Kettering business.
This question is for anybody. Have y'all ever thought about collabing with other small businesses?
Yes, we're always collaborating. Shaniqua is my business partner. She does, so on the other side of the nutrition club, we have a full out gym, and she personal trains group fitness. So we collaborate. We have different other small businesses that come in. I feel like we are the hub for other business owners because we are always connecting each other with someone. Oh, you didn't know such and such? Well, here, this is this. So yes, I love connecting with other small business owners.
Yeah, we care for infants 6 weeks to 18 months, and so obviously they grow, so they need child care after 18 months. So we have other centers that we feed after they get older, and so it's always nice to work with the other directors. There's a program in Kettering that we kind of all work together and more view each other as neighbors than competitors. And so that's kind of nice because we can get together and chat and visit, and I can call anybody and say, hey, this is our situation. What are you doing about that? And so we collaborate, not necessarily partner with.
So my form of collaboration actually comes in the form of education. So I have other people who come in, they get educated in the services that I provide, and then they're able to take it back to their businesses and share it however they need to share it there. But since the new venture has come along, I guess the current form of collaboration is just speaking with other doctors in the community, which is pretty sweet. So they get to use me on a referral basis, and I actually get to use them on a referral basis as well. So yeah, that's kind of my collaboration part in the Kettering community.
You know, a lot of this was born out of the classes we took together, part of that networking. We kind of have, I have two kind of informal initiatives, kind of catering first. Hey, my plumbers come by, grab sandwich. Hey, you know, I'm a plumber. Are you a plumber? Oh, I live around the corner. Hey, we need some help in here. So a lot of, if you know anything about restaurants, a lot of infrastructure. We spend a lot of time. I am a masterful cook, but I am a second, third-rate electrical engineer or plumber and those things. So what happens is our neighbors, literally within a block, everyone says, I live here, I live here. You have a small business. So we choose small business first that's in our community. It just works its way out. I would love to barter. Can I use some chicken for that job? And funny enough, more often than not, and this is one of those things about being a part of not just a business, but a business community, is that I had an electrician come by, solved a problem in 10 seconds. I said, oh my God, he said, nothing, I'm your neighbor. So I love that vibe where people can really tap in. And I know when I have a bigger project, I'm calling him first because of my experience with them. So it's a very natural outgrowth of networking. It's not about what you know, it's really truly who you know.
So the question I have for you as individual entrepreneurs is, how did you go about determining what legal structure that you wanted your business to be? That's part A to the question. And B would be, and I'm asking these questions particularly for what the future audience may want to know and would be beneficial to them, includes your paperwork. I represent government, but so from the paperwork perspective, and you know, maybe all of you avoided that as a part of your dialogue and your stories, but for many business owners, that becomes the most daunting part of it. That becomes the most complex and difficult part of it. And for a lot of people, they don't take the leap into being a legitimate full-time business because of paperwork, whether you call it bureaucracy or not. That's a little editorializing for my question, but part A and part B.
All look at each other.
I can go, but I ain't want to be that guy.
You be that guy, please.
I'll be that guy.
Well, we're a child care center.
Yes.
So we're human services. Ours, I'm sure that I have much different paperwork than everyone else. We recently, like 18 months ago, became a 5-star center, which is it's a voluntary rating system set up through the state of Ohio. We did not participate for many years, but it was through the encouragement of our licensing specialist, who kept saying, you're a 5-star center, fill out the paperwork. And I was like, I don't want to fill out the paperwork. And so because of that, we were not a 5-star center because I didn't want to deal with the paperwork. But we did eventually fill out the paperwork, and we are now a 5-star center. Getting through licensure was very daunting. Our specialists made it livable and helped us through. But it is daunting. It is a challenge. It is a lot to fill out. It is time consuming. You have to have the right answers. You have to put into practice what you're putting on the paper. You can't just put it on the paper. So I'm sure our paperwork was much different. And then we had also the business side of things to fill out as well. And I'm sure that that's kind of universal.
You know, as a small business, this is kind of my second go-round. I didn't mention I've been a long-time teacher, and that's why the education is so important, the technical series, because we literally had a day about paperwork and what type of professionals in the community we could reach out to, be it accounting or lawyers and all that. That is very intimidating. Luckily, we have a great entrepreneur ecosystem, not just in Kettering, but in the greater Dayton area. Even at the county level, we had guests from the county who came and talked about it. So for myself, as a single member LLC, that made transition to S Corp, yay, for the year we had great profitability, then COVID. So, but we're still kind of managing that. But here's what I love, and I'm going to bring Angela's name all the time. She is about crossing those T's and dotting those I's. So I remember somehow I sent a form that was not complete, and he's like, send it back. What I tell all my colleagues is participate in these grant programs and loans because it helps you tighten up your paperwork, your articles of incorporation, all these things. At the end of the day, I say I'm a masterful chef, but you have to reach out and get those technical resources, which you're first introduced to in classes like that. But having that lawyer, having that accountant, it makes it easy. And the great thing is it's an investment. People see it as kind of a daunting burden. But when you have all your paperwork together, now when opportunities for funding come along, you have it all in order. So it matures you as a business person to be legit. And I can't say enough, especially during this pandemic times where so many resources came available. But if you didn't have your paperwork in order, you couldn't take advantage of them. So it matured me as a business person moving forward. As I talk about plans to grow my company, everyone's going to ask for it. So you might as well have that digital folder with all those documents already on board.
To piggyback off of what Chef, we're both in the food industry, so I operated as a single LLC, switching over to an S Corp as well. But it was hounded into me, paperwork. So before I started, it was go talk to an attorney, and this is what you do. And I'm so ABC. So everything was put in place. I did not move until this step was complete. So being very anal and just making sure I just did it. Sometimes it's not easy. You just have to do it. You have to buckle down, and then you can go ahead with the operations. But if your process is not in order, then you can't expect the products and the people or anything else you have to be in order.
It's my turn. Okay. So as a cosmetologist, everything is pretty much taken care of at State Board, but I have learned from the newer steps that there are much more of a process. So a really cool thing about my business is that I am able to accept insurance from people. So there was a lot of different steps and processes from that that I'm currently in the process of completing. So it was crazy because when I first got out, I'm just gonna sell medical grade wigs and it's gonna be great. And it was like, yeah, so where's your paperwork? And I'm like, oh, dang, okay. I am an artist and I'm sensitive.
About your work.
Sensitive about my work, okay? So I enjoy doing artistry. I enjoy that. It literally is like completing a crossword puzzle. I just get so much joy and fulfillment off of completing it, which is probably crazy. But knowing that there was all of this paperwork was actually like, boom, there's more than just an LLC and like, making sure I'm legit with State Board. So yeah, that's been an interesting part of my business. No one has ever actually asked me that question, and it's crazy that now I'm fully in it. So it's like, oh, I can attest to that. So a lot of state licensing, a lot of codes, just a lot of different things that I would not have ever expected. But because of, had it not been for Angela in the city of Kettering, I would have never even taken the initiative to cross that line. So yeah, it's pretty sweet that I'm here today. So getting my paperwork together.
Well, I want to thank each one of you. Each one of you is truly, really an inspiration to me. And I know it is for a lot of people and all small businesses that grow up here. It always amazes me that you can just step out, like you said, over the cliff and do this and make it work. It's really, truly an inspiration. And of course, we all love Angela for all she's done.
Give her a raise.
and I hear a few takeaways that call first. It seems when I'm working with businesses, particularly small business startups, sometimes they've jumped 5 steps ahead, and it's like, oh, now I got to tell you to come back, and it's hard on me to do that. But when which is one of the reasons why we started the program is to help people get through those steps. Networking, that's a great takeaway from here as well, and hopefully we can encourage that and continue that. First of all, we're going to have Anthony come back up and present a ceremonial check to the city. We love the ceremonial check part.
Necessary. Obviously, on behalf of the congressional delegation that supports the legislation that funds the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for our annual budget, as well as then the allocations that comes to each of our local areas around the state, and then directly to this community as our entitlement partner. These are the funds that allows you to do more and to do what you otherwise could not or would not do or not able to do. So these are funds that allows you to take your passion, your community development, as well as your community benefits for this community to the whole nother level. This is not just a single year's funding, so you can't expect this for each year. That'd be about $2.5 million. So this is combined funding from several different sources and several different years. But the issue is that you have been able to do more with these funds, and we look forward to not only coming back to celebrate more successes, more businesses that are able to be helped, but more infrastructure, more public services, more housing, and things of that nature for this community as well. So thank you for all that you do, and here's the money.
Now for the next fun part, we're going to have Mayor Lehner come up and present the fund ceremonial checks to our small businesses. And just to remind our small businesses that we're here to help, and we do want to help you expand to become the next major business here in Kettering.
All right, we have a ceremonial check for 7 Spa. Nikita, would you like to come up? Nikita, do you want to say anything about the funds you've received from Kettering, or you don't have to? I'm putting you on the spot.
I know, right? So, first of all, hello everybody, and thank you so much, because I was not expecting this. The city of Kettering have been awesome to me, the last 5 years now since I've been in the area. They've been very supportive and just actually loving on me, and I really appreciate that. So I was not expecting this, so I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Another loving you more.
Thank you. Okay. Next, Chris, do you want to come up? We have Mac Brand Clothing, Christopher Mack. He also completed our Minority Micro Enterprise Business Technical Series. Do you want to say a few words, Chris?
Yeah. Thank you for this check. I attended the program last year around this time, and what's crazy is that I was selling my clothes out of my apartment, and we had ran into a trial and error with our merchandise, and I was trying to figure out a way to not let the brand flop and try to figure out a way to get some money to get more inventory. And thankful for Angela. She helped me out, and the business is still growing, and now we actually have a suite at the Oregon District. So if you guys want to come check us out, and I brought that to you guys' attention because I would love to collab with you guys. I'm a graphic designer, so that would kind of do good business. I'm not really a person that comes up here and do presentations and everything, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Kiera, do you want to come and get your big check? I think. I'm not going to make you talk since,
Oh, why not? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for participating in the panel.
Thank you. Okay. Shaniqua Gray with Evolve You Fit Academy. Shaniqua also participated in some of our technical classes. Do you want to say a few words? I know you don't. But
I don't. No, thank you so much for having me. It was a very great class. I know Angela's tired of hearing her name, but thank you for helping me with everything I needed to do to understand how to get this. And thank you to the City of Kettering for helping us update our gym equipment and bring better products to our women who we serve in the community.
Thank you. Alyssa, would you like to come and get your picture? not going to make you talk unless you want to again. Anthony, do you want to kind of grab your big truck?
I've talked enough today.
And last but not least, Kathy from Babyland, and also an extra little clap for Kathy because her birthday is this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You done talking to?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. This helped a lot. Thank you, Angela.
Thank you so much. And then I think I will turn it over to our city manager.
Thank you, Angela. So Angela wanted me to kind of close the morning, and this was an event that celebrates our community development programs. It's intended to create some networking amongst businesses and city government officials and businesses in the community, and highlight some of our exceptional entrepreneurs. But I feel like Tom, I was inspired, so I almost feel like this should be a benediction instead of just a closing statement. You guys really are remarkable. We're so thankful to have the opportunity to support your entrepreneurial activities in our community, and felt the love for Kettering and Angela, of course, which is well deserved. As a new city manager who's only been here a handful of months, as the mayor articulated, I have already seen the passion, the focus, and the creativity of our community development staff. And Tom and Angela are certainly our lead singers. Angela, you deserve a lot of thanks, but we have some other teammates here who are also critical to that success. Amy Hazlip in the back, Tom Luckett over here. And we want to give them a shout out. And thanks to all of you. Really thanks to the staff who help make these things happen every day. These programs aren't possible without the support of our congressional representatives, our U.S. senators, our congresspersons elected, and they have declined in many years, and it is critical that we all urge Congress to support these programs, because you have heard testimony today of the impacts that they make in the lives of individuals whose homes are often rehabbed, the lives of people, and the success of neighborhoods, and the growth of businesses and entrepreneurs in the Kettering community and in communities all across this country. So thank you to HUD, the Housing and Urban Development. Mr. Forte, thank you for being here today. Representing HUD, thank you to our federal and state partners. We could not do the things that we're doing without your support, and so if we could give them a round of applause. And it is always smart for a city manager to say thanks to our elected officials. Our mayor and council members are here today. Thanks to you for letting us be creative in how we deliver these services and programs to our community, and thank you for your ideas and energy around community development initiatives. You're a big part of why we're able to accomplish the things we are today, so we thank you for being here and for your support as well.